So welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander. Today we're taking a look at Combined Arms, the World War II campaign game from Warlord Games. So this is a board game that is both self-contained two-player, kind of a big, not grand strategic, but strategic war game. But it's also a campaign system that you can use for Warlord's various games, including bolt action. So I was very interested because I saw this and thought, well, that would be neat for tabletop wargaming purposes, which I don't do a lot on this channel. But I wanted to see how it is as a standalone game, because it looks like a really great introductory war game for two players that you can kind of play as small or as big as you want. And I thought that was something that could be of really great merit. So, very kind of iconic old school style, almost comic book, I don't know what you would call it, artwork, but it's very evocative of kind of the old drawings that you'd have back in the day. But it's got a number of different boards covering different theatres, and then there's kind of some little plastic miniatures that you're going to use in this game, and then there's a card-based system as well. So, we're just going to crack this open. This is what you get. There's bubble wrap in here because we do have some sprues. So you don't have to build anything, you don't have to paint anything. You do just have to clip it all off the sprues. So you just want a little hobby knife or a little set of pliers, and you're going to get everything off. So we do have green and tan and grey. So you can see there's some different buildings on hexes. Those are both industrial buildings. There's some aircrafts like airfields, landing strips, some cities. So there's a little aircraft. Those look an awful lot like Spitfires to me. We have some ships. We have some tanks. These are what would be Sturmgeschütze. And then we have some infantry, all three infantrymen. And so in this game, you know, this is going to be like infantry armies, armored armies, navies, and kind of air fleets. But you're going to have an air battle between these air units, and then if you're doing the campaign system, you're going to go play Blood Red Skies for that. Or you're going to do naval battles, you can play Victory at Sea. Or you're going to do a land battle with these, and you're going to play bolt action to like resolve those. We're going to do this just as a board game to see how it is standalone. So we get these in a tan, a grey, and a green plastic. And I believe that's two factions and a neutral. I believe. I'm not quite sure. You do get two very small D6 in a baggie, which is nice. We have plenty of dice here, so we'll use ones. These are very small. We're going to use a bit more readable than that. I think those are at best 6mm. So we have some decks of cards, and we have an orders board. Let's get everything else out here. I've got everything else. So the rule book, and again, so we've got game components breakdown. This is all full color. This is a lot of imagery, so it's not a ton of insane rules overhead. Objective of the game, you got the orders phase as you issue orders, and then the end phase. Okay, so these are the rules for the board game. Again, we're talking about like a short two-player war game that you can play with your family, that kind of a thing. And then there's like, these are the rules for using it as a campaign system for all of Warlord's miniatures games, which you could do, and I would love to see some battle reports on that, but we're interested in this as a board game to see if this holds up, because this was something that is inexpensive, has some cool little bits of plastic, and this is one of the boards. It's not something that's going to be overwhelming, and that's what you're looking for in one of these kind of introductory style war games. So you have your little sequence of play on here. We have presumably initiative cards, discard, destroyed units box, resolution, and discard for these little small resolution cards. These are the order charts that you're going to use to give orders with, and these are the orders that you can give on here as tokens and markers for the different armies that you've got. So this is a little punch board. You only get the one punch board out of it. which is nice in that there's not a ton of crazy rules. Like, not a million things, nothing to clear, but it's all pre-rounded. But the boards of this, so you get 4 of these. And we'll kind of look. So, this is obviously, so we got South Coast of England, and this map passes the Southampton test, which we're very happy about. We got Normandy, Cherbourg, Calais over here, and then Paris. So, if you can see, there's these darker hexes. Allies are going to set up here. You know, there's 2 sea hexes, and there's all these other land hexes. And the Axis player is going to set up down here. And so I'm going to launch my sea invasion, by which time the Axis force are going to have moved up here, and then we're going to fight out this little battle, basically. So then we're not talking about a massively, insanely complicated or kind of crazy rules overhead game. This is a small format introductory style war game, I'm hoping. But we also have our kind of a North Africa board. So we got Crete, and again we will have, well, I'll be interested to see how they do that one, if the colours are the same thing. But so you've got Tobruk over here, and then you've got El Alamein down here, so you're fighting along through the desert. I'll be very curious to see, I believe these are roads which might provide easier movement, but we will see how that works with the islands and different scenarios that you can do. We have a Guadalcanal, kind of a Pacific theatre one. You could do lots of sea naval battles, but also fighting in through the jungle as well. And last but not least, we have the Eastern Front maps. We've got the Caucasus down here. So this is kind of what you would expect from kind of the southern part of the Eastern Front. So that's it. You got these 4 boards. You can play any of these. You could stitch them together and play all of them one after another if you were so inclined. The cards. So the initiative cards, and these are. This is kind of like that matte finish that you get on cards, which is neat. But this is going to tell you've got. Play after plane is downed during a game of Blood Red Skies. Okay, so this is maybe interesting. I don't know. Some of these we might not use because these are specific for if you're using, like this is like during a bolt action game, before a land battle, you can choose the scenario for this battle. So I think some of those we're not going to use. Those are very much for that miniatures campaign system. But the rest of these, it's like, play after an enemy unit is forced to retreat. It must retreat a second time. Play before an air raid. Ignore AA for this air raid. Flank. Play as an order. Move a unit on a land hex. The opposing player does not make any rolls to destroy during this move. So, and there's some victory at sea ones as well. So we will remove those as well. But we have those, and then the small cards are these resolution cards. Flip and resolve, it says on them. If a player controls the commercial hub objective, they gain 1 VP. The opposing player may then escalate. Discard this card. Your naval units can move 1 extra hex. No battles take place in this turn. Reveal all units adjacent to an enemy unit. Capture. Discard this card. So I'm pretty sure that you have your units are hidden, and you have decoy ones as well. So you're moving these units around. They've got different strengths in them, and you're moving those around on the board. And so when you get next to someone, because the size of this is, you know, huge scale. If you move next to someone, the fog of war can be revealed, and that's where you're going to reveal, oh, I've got a 3 armoured army going up against my 2 infantry army. Oh no, we might get in a circle and have to run away, kind of a thing. So these are just going to give you a little bit extra spice in the gameplay. But again, understanding what this game is, I'm very interested to play this because I'm always looking for games that are both have nice components and look nice. These will be fun to kind of play with, but also that will help people join the hobby. But also, this is a game that, you know, can cross-pollinate people into Hex and Counter wargaming who might already be tabletop wargamers. Well, you've already got all the miniatures games, why not play this? as a game, and then it's like, well, hey, if you like this, we've got maybe some more detailed explorations of those things. Because there's a million Normandy games, a million East Front games, right? So I'm always interested to see how these things play. We're going to give this a go and let you know how it is. So this is Combined Arms from Warlord Games. Appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.